My name's Braica. I'm from the city. I grew up just like you guys. Played here right through high school, college, coached here. In college, had the pleasure of coaching Gino in college, who was a great player and a great person. And I'm honored that Jason asked me to come in today to speak about someone who was a great friend of mine, just probably one of the greatest people in the history of the world, Mr. Tom Konchalski. Now, we're getting a little older. Do any of you guys know Tom? You do? That's great. Huh?
He was a scout.
Yes, he was. So you know of him, or did you know him? Or?
Right. My older brother, he used to run ISA, so every time.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
he
you know Tom.
Top
Yes.
of the teachers to sit there and scout people.
Yes, yes. There was someone else? That's it.
I know of him.
You knew of Tom. Nobody else? Well, we're getting old, guys. But you know of him? Well, you Google him one day, and I'm gonna speak to you a little bit about him today. And like I said, you won't meet a finer person that walked this earth. I mean, he's just phenomenal. He tremendous person. I'm gonna speak to you a little bit about his expertise as a scout, his impact on New York City basketball, but more importantly on the kids of New York City and how he helped them, and just his overall integrity. When I looked at the shirts, on the back of the shirts, it says integrity, and there's no better word to describe Tom Konchalski. He had the utmost integrity. He was as good a person as you'll ever come across in life, okay? Growing up in New York City, it can be rough at times, right? Everyone in this country doesn't start at the same place, but if you have the right work ethic, the right role models, the right mentorship, okay, you have a chance to do great things, okay? And Tom was a mentor to so many. He provided opportunity to so many, kind of like Jason and Gino and the other coaches are doing here today, carrying on his legacy. And it just makes me feel great that this stuff can continue in his name, okay? All right, let's start with his expertise as a basketball scout. Someone said, he was a scout. So he ran a high school recruiting service. He was probably the most respected evaluator of high school talent in the country. Okay, so that means when Mike Krzyzewski hears about a sophomore and wherever, and his assistant comes up to him and says, "Hey, Mike, there's a kid here, and he's supposed to be call Tom." That would inevitably be every head coach's response. Call Tom, see what Tom thinks, because they trusted him and respected him so much. He was just incredible at evaluating guys and not telling you how they were right that minute, but how they were going to be 2 and 3 years down the road. And he evaluated everyone. He evaluated multiple, every NBA player, every Division III player. And the best thing about him, he treated everyone the same. So if you were a Division III guy and you walked out of the gym, he'd come up to you, shake your hand, he'd tell you how you were doing, he'd ask you about your schoolwork, what school you were going to, and he would be generally excited for you. And then he'd go up to an NBA player and do the same thing. So it didn't matter to him whether you were going to a CUNY school or to St. John's or North Carolina. It was all the same to him. He had an interest in you as a person, as a player, and he wanted you to succeed, okay? And to me, that's class. What do I think is class? I used to tell our guys when I coached at St. Francis, you treat the janitor, the lunchroom lady, the same way you treat the president. Don't treat people one way because they can do something for you or they can give you certain status, and someone else may be struggling a little bit or, not be able to help you. You treat everyone well. And the thing about Tom, you will never hear him ever say a bad word about anyone. He could find the good in everybody. So, look, we're in New York City, right? There's some tough characters out there, right? It could get a little rough sometimes. He would always find the good in someone and always have hope that they would become better, okay? And I'm just so happy that Jason and the coaches are helping you guys. They're giving you an opportunity here to better your lives, to become better players, to learn about life, give you skills that you don't even know you're getting, so that when you move on, you can be successful. And that's really what this is about. This is about Tom's legacy moving forward, okay? And look, he's done so many great things with regard to his impact on basketball. He engineered the Ernie and Bernie show down in Tennessee back in the late 70s. He helped Ernie Grunfeld and Bernard King go to the University of Tennessee, and they probably had one of the most famous teams in the history of college basketball. It was great. I mean, Bernard King was probably, maybe Patrick Ewing's the best Knick ever. Bernard King's right there, okay? And Ernie Grunfeld was a great player in his own right, okay? And they went down there and they did great things, and Tom had a lot to do with that. But what a lot of people don't know is he sent a friend of mine down there as a manager and changed his life so that he could get a college education, experience things that maybe a kid from New York City could never do. And, he did that for so many. He helped so many guys get into school, whether it be Division III, Division II, Division I, helped the guy raise his stock so he could play at a high level and maybe make the NBA. He just helped everyone. He was selfless, he was humble. If you try to pay him a compliment, he wouldn't accept it. He just changed the subject. And just an outstanding person, just the greatest person ever. And when I come here today and I look at what's going on, and you guys all seem like great kids. I don't know if they picked you out because of that, but you all have the potential to do great things. And like I told you before, you need a lot of things to go right. You need the right mentors. You need to learn the right things. You have to have it in you to work hard, okay? And you have that here. And Jason and Gino and the other coaches are carrying on Tom's legacy and trying to help you reach your goals. So I just hope that you guys take advantage of it, okay? And really try to learn from this, and try to become a better player, become a better person, and try to get yourself the tools to be successful in life. Because that's what Tom's life was about. He was a very simple man. He printed his report on a typewriter. You guys probably don't even know what that is. He didn't have a car. He took mass transit, and he never asked anybody for anything. The only thing you might give him once in a while, he'd take is a lift, if you were going to a game and you could pick him up. But he was truly just a wonderful, wonderful man. And I think you guys need to learn the history of a person like Tom and the history of New York City basketball, because it all comes together. So like when I walk in the gym today and I come here to talk to you guys and I see Gino helping you guys out, it means more to me than any wins or losses or money or anything like that, because he's carrying on a legacy, that's been passed down from other people to myself, to Jason, and now to Gino, and now to you, okay? And it's important. It's important. Nobody does it by themselves. So people need help in life. And you guys, the best thing you could do coming out of this, okay, is to try and carry that on and help somebody else down the road in honor of Tom, okay? And that would be a great thing. And Jason is part of the foundation. Obviously, everyone in New York supports it. But if Tom wants kids to be successful, and if you can help someone down the road and you can be successful, he's going to be up there smiling down on everybody. And he's going to be really happy, because it was never about anything else to him. He wanted to help kids. He wanted to better their lives. He wanted strong friendships. So if you guys can kind of learn from it and go do some great things, whatever that may be. It may be basketball, it may be something else. And then maybe pass that along to someone else down the road. I don't see any other way that any other thing that can make him happier if he's looking down on us, which we know he is. And look, he just got inducted into the Naismith Hall of Fame this past weekend for his lifetime contributions to the game. Think about that. That's the big one. That's Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I mean, that's the big one, okay? So enough people thought enough of him to rally around him to get him inducted into that Hall of Fame. And if he was here, if I said this, he'd walk out. He wouldn't want to hear it, because he's such a humble, selfless man. He'd rather talk to you about, what you're going to do the rest of the summer or what school you're going to, Okay, he'd rather talk to you about your family, how you're doing. Okay, that's what he was about. He was about helping people. Okay, so look, I mean, I could stand up here and tell you so many great things about him. He was an unbelievable friend to me. You know, and just, you know, he could have went to any game in the country every day. Yet he chose to come to Remsen Street in our 85-degree gym where the roof was leaking sometimes, and you know, because he wanted to be there. He was comfortable there. He was happy, and I was his friend. And then he'd like to go to the diner after the game. So, you know, he had a saying that he was most happy in two places: gyms and churches. It's pretty good. God and basketball, right? That's pretty good. So he had things pretty good. And I'll throw diners in there because he'd love to go to the diner after the game and tell stories and just be with his friends. So again, if I can give you anything here today and just educate you about Tom a little bit, and I know it's hard if you don't know someone or whatever, but these things need to be passed down from generation to generation, because this thing didn't start here in this time. This happened 50, 60 years ago. There were guys before Tom and everybody else. And it should, you know, you guys should know the history a little bit of New York City and New York City basketball, and how people have helped each other going forward and down the line. And if you ever have the chance in the future to carry that on, I think that's a great thing. Okay? And like I said, I just want to thank Jason for having me come in here today and speak about Tom. And it's great to see you guys work out a little bit and to see you with great people. Because, you know, you got to keep yourselves around the right people. You got to have the right mentors. You know, somebody, I heard a quote last week. Somebody said, "Show me your friends, I'll show you your future." So be careful who you associate yourself with. These guys are great. Tom Konchalski was a mentor to so many. He was an impeccable human being. There's nobody better. You can't find anybody. You know, the only one I compare in my life is my grandmother to him. She was incredible, and Tom was amazing. And we're all obviously sad he's gone, but his legacy lives on through what's going on here in the gym. And he spent most of his life in the gym. And like I said, if one of you takes it and runs with it and does something to help somebody else, then I know how happy he would be. And it really would make this whole thing a real success. Okay? So thanks for your time. I appreciate you guys listening and hopefully learning a little bit about a great man. And you know, try to make the most of your opportunities and be successful and happy in life, and try to pass it on to someone else. Okay? Try to pass it on to someone else if you ever get a chance to. All right? Thank you.